Well, good afternoon. If you're joining us live on Facebook, we are so happy, so glad to have you here with us again this afternoon. The Nonprofit Partnership is very pleased to continue this vlog series that we've titled Our Stories, Our Time. And we're very excited to introduce you to our guest today. But before we do, I just want to say I'm Carolina Quesada with the Nonprofit Partnership and welcoming you to another segment of Our Stories, Our Time. And in these series, we're interviewing nonprofit leaders to understand how organizations are navigating through these current times. There are some very special and particular challenges that we are facing during these times, but there's also a lot of stories of hope and resiliency. And we're going to get to know a little bit more about one of those today. Now, before I introduce our guest for the day, the Nonprofit Partnership wishes to thank the Port of Long Beach for their very generous contribution to this series. And again, if you are watching us live on Facebook, we do invite you to engage with us. Say hello to our special guest using the comment box. We will also be sharing links to their website and their other social media pages so that you can make sure to keep in touch with them. And of course, you can always watch these videos again on Facebook as well. On YouTube. So we do post them on YouTube. So with that, I would love to introduce Shelly Barbre, president of the board of directors of the Assistance League of Long Beach. So Shelly, we are so thrilled that you are joining today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. It's not every day we get to interview members of boards. And so this is wonderful. We always appreciate your perspective as well on what's happening with the community and the organization. So with that, Shelly, I know I'm curious to know, and others will be as well. Tell us a little bit more about your journey and how you joined the board of directors.
Well, it's a long journey, 23 years. I've been a member of the Assistance League of Long Beach. I started out as a rickracker, which is one of our auxiliaries. We have 4 auxiliaries here in the Long Beach. We have the Cameo, which is our professional auxiliary. We have Assistines, which are our teens. So those are high school students from 7 different high schools located in the Long Beach area. We also have the Rickrackers and then Las Hermanas. And so Las Hermanas is a service organization that serves the chapter. We are one of 120 chapters across the United States. We're the 5th chapter. Our founder was Winifred Campbell, and they started in 1940. So we've been around a long time. We were at another location before we moved to our Spring Street location. We have 11 philanthropic programs. And the biggest programs that you probably recognize are the Operation School Bell or orthodontic program that are located at 6220 Spring Street. We have another facility that's on 4th in Retro Row. It's our thrift shop, which sponsors some of our funding for the programs that we have. Proud members, 830 of them. When they formed, they started out during World War II, and Winifred Campbell used to work at the Red Cross, and then also Long Beach Day Nursery, which everybody's familiar with that one, Girl Scouts, Campfire Girls, and the Press Telegram Cheer Fund. And then here's one we haven't heard in a long time, Community Chest. So those are some of the projects that Winifred started with 50 women. And so you could see how we've expanded through the years. And we have something for everyone, whether it's a professional woman or a part-time employee who maybe wants to come in the evening and pack Operation School Bell with our rickrackers. They manage the Operation School Bell program.
How amazing, just the history of the organization and its beginnings. And there, I think from the beginning was very, started to build on a legacy where there was a lot of, it was very prolific, right? Your founder and the work that she did with a cluster of other community volunteers. That's wonderful. And can I just say, you know, when you talk about the Assistance League, there's a lot of pride, you know, in just the way you describe all the different things that the organization is doing. And I would love to get into it a little bit more, but I just wanted to reflect on that there's really quite something to be said about now you're one of the organization's leaders. You're you know, at at the helm of the board of directors. And so to kind of almost grow up through the ranks, you've experienced the organization from different places. So what's that been like?
It's actually, it's been fun. When you start out, I didn't know anybody in this community when I moved here. I went to school here and left for many years. And so when I came back, this became my home and I found a lot of close friends. I love the work that we do. So through the years, I've held different positions. I was a Rick Recker chair. And so I know, back in the day, we were only clothing 3,000 kids. This year, we will clothe 14,000 kids,
Wow.
even through the pandemic. So great work has been done. The members take pride in what they do, and there's opportunity for you to learn. We have an educational program. I was in charge of the assistings, and we really concentrated on their Robert's Rules of Order and taught them how to do agendas. And so through the years, you learn from your experience of being on different committees and then just coming up the ranks. I was looking forward to the day that I would sit in this office, and I've been a proud Assistance League president. I believe in this program and all of the member volunteers that we have. They're just fantastic. So we've survived the pandemic.
Yes,
We've
surviving.
had a roller coaster ride. We're open, we're closed, we're not open, we're closed. We've learned how to adjust during this period of time. Our average age of our member is 62. So some of the new things that we learned was how to use Zoom, how to conduct your meeting on Zoom, how to communicate, how to punt when we needed to punt. The same thing with providing with our programs. We opened up the doors and we gave out projects to do on the driveway. People would drive up, pick up their supplies, be able to do cards to send to the a la carte program at Memorial Hospital. The vets, we did a food drive for them. We support the women's shelter of Long Beach and also Interval House. And so we did canned goods for them. We did an Easter project. So even though that we were closed to the pandemic, we made sure that we were still serving our community. So
Absolutely.
it's been a
No,
challenge.
yes, it definitely has been a challenge, but as we're exploring, the role of the organization in the community, how, you've experienced the organization, what it meant for you. I mean, clearly it's an organization that represents community. The organization is made up of different also types of individuals who are contributing to this experience. And it sounds like you yourself have also experienced that, right? Coming back, re-engaging, and what a wonderful way to re-engage through this organization. Now, you've already touched on quite a few things that are very unique about the programs that you're running, what you're doing. You mentioned the orthodontic program, the clinic. You talked about Operation School Bell. Gosh, there's so many different kinds of ways that the Assistance League is responding to the needs in the community. Can you describe more who you're serving, who's primarily impacted by your services? Give us a good sense of, is it quite a variety of people in the community? Can you share a little bit more about that?
So it is a wide variety of people that we do serve. It could be the elderly, or the school child, or somebody who would be in need of braces. Our orthodontic center, we do screenings here, and we qualify them financially. They come in through the program. We follow them all through their retainer period, and they finish before they conclude high school. So they're, pretty busy there. Some of the programs, we have bedside program, which is a la carte, where we go to bedside and we do crafts with the kids. Another one is launching literacy, where we go to the schools. Unfortunately, because we haven't been at the schools, everybody's anxious to get back to work, to get there. So we do mentoring services, and that's a really great program. We partnered with Long Beach Unified School District, and it's fairly new. We started the program just before the pandemic, and it was quite successful. So we're looking forward to doing that again soon. Food, we found out that we did a little survey, and we really had food insecurity, not only with our women's shelters, but also at the school level. And so we provided lunches and things at Wilson High School so that they could come to their pantry and pick up canned goods and take those home. because there definitely was a need for that during the pandemic period where we were all shut down. So we're going to hopefully expand that program in the near future.
And are you doing that in collaboration or in partnership with other organizations?
Actually, that's one thing we did find through the pandemic, that we have partnered with other organizations so that we could expand. Food Finders is one of the organizations that we did align ourselves with. So we collect the food, they came and picked it up, and then they distributed the food. The same thing with Interval House, very supportive. They also came, we collected the food, and then they distributed to the women that they had in their program.
Wow.
So it's quite successful.
Yeah. And, that is something we're coming to find out from all sorts of organizations in our community, how the pandemic has really introduced or reintroduced that opportunity to collaborate with others at different levels. And so certainly, it's great to hear that you've also continued to look for these opportunities to do so. And food is definitely one of those needs, huge need.
Absolutely.
Shelly, to go back to something you said earlier, when you said bedside, is that are you working with a hospital, or
we work with Long Beach Memorial?
Okay.
We work with Long Beach Memorial, and we have a little closet there, craft closet. We bring the supplies in, and the volunteers go and work bedside for the long-term patient, and they'll make crafts or they'll make cards. Our assistants are also participants in that program, where they'll make crafts, and then the member volunteers deliver them directly to the patients, and that's a really nice program. We also have we give out scholarships to Cal State Long Beach and also Long Beach City. We do that annually, and then also our Cameo is our mentoring program, and they give out scholarships to the kids that are in our program. And they have their annual fundraiser, which they had 2 weeks ago at the Westin Hotel. But during the pandemic, we handled that virtually. So we had a fashion show virtually, and also the fundraising was all done via Zoom. We all learned how to use Zoom.
Wow. Yes. To raise money, to advocate, to bring about awareness. Yes, absolutely. Yes, please.
One of the other programs that I forgot to mention was our Las Hermanas. They managed the assault survivor kits. So during the pandemic, that there was an increase for the assault survivor kits to go out to the hospitals and women's shelter. And so what that means is that when a survivor is brought in and they collect their clothes and evidence that they don't have anything to wear, so we provide things, sweats and things, and a hygiene kit so that they can leave the hospital with dignity.
Absolutely. I saw that on your website, and that really, kind of rather caught me when I was looking at that. And yes, I mean, I can imagine you have quite a dedicated group of volunteers who are organizing around that. But I wasn't aware that there was then a connection to a shelter and working with them around this.
Yeah, we have a great partnership with both Long Beach Women's Shelter and Interval House. We work very closely with them and their demands. And this year, we had our annual holiday. We had that up and down roller coaster period of time when we could open, we're closed. And it was the one meeting that we were able to have a guest speaker. And I'd like to tell you just a little bit about that. So it was Interval House. And when they were here, they were telling us about the program that they have, and how important it is to the community, and how important we were to supplying them with the assault survivor kits and the support that they received from us. During that weekend, so that was on a Friday, they called our office and said that there was a need for 4 families. It was right before the holidays, that they needed clothing, they needed blankets and everything, because when these women leave, they leave with nothing except for what they're carrying. And within 24 hours, we had everything on the list for 4 families to outfit homes. And that was quite an accomplishment. And that talk about emails going back and forth and notification, and just the pride that the member volunteers had to know that they were able to help these families during that holiday time, because otherwise they would have done without. They didn't have beds, they didn't have blankets, they didn't have cooking utensils, nothing. And it was so nice that our member volunteers stepped up and were able to help that. So it's nice that we have those partnerships. We also partner with the U.S. Vets. We're going to have a program here in a couple of weeks with our volunteers. So our Assistance League has the teen group, and they're going to sponsor the US vets that are at Long Beach City. And we've learned to partner with them. And so these people are homeless and they live in their cars, as you've heard through the news, and they'll be coming here, and our students will be providing a nice meal for them. And then they're going to have a movie night and just give them a break. Just give them a break. So it's good for our teens to learn from that.
Right.
You know,
right. And, you know, it's interesting because going back to your earlier story, boy, it just sounds like there were volunteers there already and they mobilized quickly, so much so that the response was amazing. In 24 hours, you know, you were able to collect what you needed to collect, and out it went. So, you know, earlier, right before we went live, we were talking a little bit about volunteers, and you know, we know that volunteers are a really important lifeline to for a lot of organizations. But tell us about the volunteers of the Assistance League. Tell us about them, and this is impressive. I mean, for individuals to be organized enough to like react, and they're ready to go when a need such as urgent as that comes up, they respond to that. So tell us a little bit more about the volunteers at your organization.
what I like to say is we're all shapes and sizes. And that means from all different walks of life. We may have retired school teachers, retired professors. We have a scientist that's a member, you know, and then we have people that have just been volunteers, that they are professional volunteers and they love being together and working together. One of the things that we see is through our programs, you see the finished product, packing a backpack, and how special it is when you deliver it to the school and you see the smiles on the kids' faces. Or if you're volunteering in our orthodontic center, when you see a shy young woman or man come in and they don't want to talk to you and they have their hand over their mouth, but by the time they finish the program, they've got this beautiful smile. So that's, I think, the reason why the volunteers step up. And we really saw them step up, even though our doors were closed. The orthodontic center was open for a short period of time, just on emergency basis. Our thrift shop was open, selling through our gates, that we have wired gates, and they were selling through the gate. You know, we weren't able to have our customers in, but we continued and had volunteers come into the thrift shop, even though we were closed down. They were finding ways in order to serve the community.
Wow.
And that's what you'll find. And we have a couple male members. They've recently joined us. Our assistants, we've always had young men join us, but now we have two men that have volunteered and signed up for membership for our Cameo program, which is our mentoring program. So that'll be really nice for them to have great examples. But it's a great community. There's something for everyone here at Assistance League, whether you like to work with children or you like to work in the office, there's always something to do. Our thrift shop is exciting. We participate on 4th on Fridays. So they like to do that. It's kind of a fair atmosphere and people come out and really enjoy it. The thrift shop is open now on Sundays. So we see a different group of people that come in, and it's kind of nice to see the younger millennials come in and shop. They're looking for specific things. And it's nice that they're not wearing disposable clothing. They're looking for quality. And our thrift shop really has a nice variety of things that we sell, whether it be a household item or clothing.
Yeah. Wow. So really it's the volunteers that are in many ways continuing to drive a lot of what continues to happen. The activities that you're overseeing, what you're offering in the community, they're right there in the trenches.
We are in the trenches. Yes, yes. We're a very hands-on organization, which is nice. And I think that's why most of the members stay. You know, if we had to look at the average length of membership, I would say it was 15 years. And I don't know if there's a lot of organizations that can say that. I look and I think to myself that I'm a young member, but when I look at the time, 23 years has gone by like a minute. And I think a lot of the other members that have been here longer than I have feel the same way, that they take such a sense of pride. We also have a Asian art collection. And that's
Yes.
something that is really, really nice. When the schools are open, we do bring in seventh grade students to come and tour. We're looking at us expanding the tours this year. So hopefully we'll be able to bring some public in so that they can also enjoy the exhibit that we have.
One of my colleagues was recently there visiting your location, and she was so incredibly impressed by the collection.
It
Incredible,
is,
she said.
yeah.
I just couldn't believe my eyes, and was equally as impressed with the proximity of such impressive art, its meaning, and the other areas of activity and areas of focus and service that the organization is doing. So it makes art in that sense also very accessible, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. One of the most recent partnerships was with the Camarada Singers, and
Mm.
we had our kids on the block, which are our puppets that go out. And so that was kind of nice that we did something different because the kids on the block normally go to schools or nurseries, or also where the elder care, and they have different programs that they can do. So this was kind of fun. It was with music. So, there we are with the arts again. So there is
Yes.
definitely something for everybody. This year we were in 2022, 22, 23, we were going to have a large campaign and try to bring up our members, whether or not it's a member that wants to join our
Hmm.
membership or a community volunteer. So we offer the community volunteer opportunity that they can come in and work either at the thrift shop or any of the programs that we have. There is an application online that they can go to, fill it out, and then volunteer. If they want to give an hour or 4 hours, we would love to see them come.
Wow. Well, and for anyone watching this, certainly it's very apparent that the Assistance League really fosters a sense of community. And it's not just the community outside of your doors that is benefiting greatly from all of the work that you're all doing, but it's also the community, that the organization hosts and what you represent and who you and who you're engaging with. And I think, what I'm coming to learn from this conversation is that just engaging as a volunteer, you are automatically connected to all these folks that probably have a very similar value set than you do, wanting to give back to the community, wanting to engage, wanting to do better for others, really looking at the greater good. So this is, I think, a good segue, Shelly, for us to talk a little bit more about your structure and your membership structure. And I don't know how many folks watching this might realize, but I mean, your organization is a member organization, and you kind of alluded to a couple of really interesting tidbits of information earlier. So just kind of, can we spend a little bit of time just talking a little bit more about your structure, and how many members do you have? How can people engage? What does it mean to be a member? All of those things.
Okay. So with that being said, we have 830 members, and the auxiliaries operate with a governing body. So each one of the auxiliaries has a governing body that would be able to make decisions based on the auxiliary and what areas they provide. We have a board of directors, which I am the president. We have only one president. Each auxiliary has a chair, and that chair is responsible for their budget also. And then I oversee, and so do the board of directors oversees the entire chapter. So chapter, we are one of 120 assistance leagues across the United States. There are several in the area, but we were the fifth that were chartered. As far
Wow.
as the membership,
Mhm.
each person, each chair, so we have a thrift shop chair. She would be responsible of the thrift shop and each one of the programs. There's 63 volunteer, what am I looking for? Committees. I've lost the word. So 63 committees, 11 projects, and they're all overseen by a chairperson. That chairperson then manages the program and reports to the executive board. The executive board then we have a monthly meeting, and then that's when we give a report to all the membership so that everybody is aware of communication, whether it be an ALLB gram, which we use internally, which is sent to them via email,
Mm-hmm.
or they're able to attend a meeting. And during the pandemic, we held all the meetings on Zoom. We still continue to use our Zoom broadcast for several of the meetings because we found that it was beneficial to continue with the Zoom meetings so that we could become more efficient
Mm-hmm.
without coming to the facility itself. But the facility itself has many different breakout rooms, so we can host several different meetings at a time. But they're each managed by a chair and then their committees that sign up underneath them. So in April, we have what we call a sign up fair. And at the sign up fair, each person or member volunteer comes in and they can find out about a different program, whether or not they want to
Nice.
volunteer for that program. So they have an overview of all the programs, and then they can pick and select how many hours they wanted to volunteer, if they want to volunteer, with mentoring, or if they wanted to volunteer, at the orthodontic center, or sitting
Mm-hmm.
at our front desk. We have people who come and volunteer at our front desk. So they are greeters and they manage the telephone and they'll do little clerical work. And I have to share a story with you. I had a lady come in the other day and she had canned goods. And she came in and she said, I have a delivery, but I need help. And I said, okay. So I grabbed one of the other members and we went outside and we brought in these 2 big boxes. And in our conversation to her car, she says to me, what do you do here? And I said, and I told her a little bit about Assistance League. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have a new member orientation on Tuesday. I said, would you like to come? And she said, I would love to come. She says, I've been a retiree and I just haven't been able to find my
Oh,
right place.
wow.
She says, but I think I found a home here. And so she showed up, and our event was yesterday. And so when I came in, I was so excited to see her there. And she gave me the biggest hug and she said, thank you for making this offer. And you don't realize that you need to ask people to volunteer or,
Mm-hmm.
or to join us. And
Mm-hmm.
once they do join, I have had many, many, many friends from here. This because it's so welcoming. So I hope that our viewers today will get that feel that Assistance League is there for anybody, whether you are a retiree, whether you're still working, whether you're a student or a vet. If you have the time, that we have a place for you here at the Assistance League of Long Beach.
I really don't need to be asking any more questions on this interview because I think you said it all. You said
Well,
it
thank
all.
you.
And I have to say, Shelly, if there's any real clear walk away from just what we've learned today from the Assistance League, from your perspective, your experience in the organization, is that truly it's not just about a sense of community. There really is a community that people can connect to. So if anyone watching is interested in membership, is curious about membership, what can you share about that they can maybe immediately connect to you or connect to perhaps your membership chair? How would they go about doing that?
So they can visit us at allb.org.
Okay.
And that is our website, our official website. They can find out more about our programs. They also have a membership application that they can download. And we actually have a second informational that will be hosted at the thrift shop in the next 30 days. We haven't set the date yet, but it'll be soon, so
Okay.
that they can come in and meet other new members. Yesterday we had a nice turnout, so hopefully they'll join us. And then also, we don't want to forget our Woman of the Year event that's coming up on April the 1st. And we will be honoring Cynthia Terry, who has been a member of the Assistance League of Long Beach. She also was a past principal of our schools, highly respected. And so that's going to be a very special event. That was how I was actually introduced to the Assistance League of Long Beach. I was invited to attend the Woman of the Year, and I was so impressed by the women who had received the award. The young lady who invited me, I said, so tell me more about this organization, Rick
Yes.
Reckers. So it's one of those things that it's mainly by association, whether you know somebody. So we're hoping to get the word out. We have a new membership chair that's going to be very active next year, hopefully in the community. You'll see her out with, different events trying to get new members.
Yeah. Wow. And so these membership orientations, and forgive me if you mentioned it a little while ago, are these happening every month? Do you have one a month that folks can connect to, or how frequently are they happening?
Right. We just hosted one yesterday. The next one will be in April. Hopefully we will continue throughout the year. and bringing in new members. Our year really begins in August when we start our Operation School Bell. So we'll be looking for
Okay.
new volunteers then. We'll also look for community volunteers so that we can expand that program. That is a fairly new program to the Assistance League of Long Beach. So that's definitely all year long. We always look for community volunteers. We also have our corporate partners that come in and help us pack.
Mhm.
So that's another way that they find out about Assistance League is if they're a community partner. Some of the
Okay.
community partners that we have are UPS is one of them.
Mhm.
Molina Healthcare has come in. Some sororities and fraternities from Cal State Long Beach have come over to help us. The Kiwanis have come in with their students from 3 or 4 different schools, I believe. And that was really nice. So the word is getting out there. You know, a recruitment is big, especially with the need that we have, you know, facing us in the future. I think that there'll be a greater need again next year for the school uniforms and orthodontic care for our kids, along with the food collection.
And again, anyone looking for more information, not just on membership, but also on the other ways that they can get involved, they can become engaged. The the website is ALLB for
.org.
Assistance League of Long Beach, yes, .org. And is there an email like info@allb.org, or is there
No,
an
they
email
just
they
go
can?
there and then they
Okay,
can click down for membership, and then it'll direct them to the areas that they're interested in.
great. And going to your website, you can definitely find what you're looking for. You will find it there.
Yeah.
So, Shelly, it's been such a pleasure. It really has been. It's been a pleasure not just getting to know more about the Assistance League, but a little bit more about you and your passion for what you do. And congratulations, you know, for
Thank you.
serving as president of the board of directors. Any other thoughts that you want to share as we're closing this interview today?
Just that our mission remains strong throughout the 82 years that we've been in business, that we're here to help the community. Um, our focus is, you know, the lives that are in our neighborhoods. We want to take care of the community that we live in. And like you say, Assistance League within itself is a community. And I know several other member volunteers share the same thing that I do, that when you're a member here and you meet new friends or you're new to the community, you can easily find somebody that likes the same things that you like.
Absolutely. And what a great case study in looking at nonprofits as, you know, these organizations that are really there to cement community as well. So thank you again, Shelly. I look forward to re-engaging with you again in the future. And everyone who's interested, please go to allb.org to find out more information, and you'll find ways to engage and connect with Assistance League of Long Beach. Thank you again. Have a great
Great.
afternoon.
Thank you. Bye.